Hey gang, welcome back to the island. It's me, Dreadnok Ryan, and today I'm going to do a quick review of just my newest Dreadnok, Pandora from Action Force by Veliverse. I also have Xena in the back, which is a Rhea Ripley that I'd repainted, and then the lady with the purple skin, that is Enchantress. She is the partner of Zartan. Hopefully my camera will steady and zoom in, but I just kind of want to look at all of these. The best part about all of these figures is they come from really 4 different lines. So let's go ahead and look at the good, the bad, and the frustrating of all of them. So let's start with Enchantress. This is a custom figure that I made off a Marvel Legends figure with most of the Marvel Legends figure bucks. This particular one has the high heel feet, which can make it a pain to stand in your displays, your dioramas. Just one of the frustrating parts. I do love the figure, though. The evil kind of witch type of vibe that she gives off, I think that's perfect for the swamps where Zartan and the Dreadnoks live. Overall, though, for this particular figure, with articulation and everything, it's pretty standard for most female figures. She does have the double knees, so she can get into decent poses. Again, with the feet, with the high heels, it can be a little bit difficult sometimes to get them to stand and hold those proper poses. The hands do leave just a little bit to desire of wanting more, but for this particular figure being my Swamp Witch, I think it's perfect for her. Overall articulation is pretty standard. She has the single hinged arms, standard articulation at the shoulders. Her head does have decent amount of tilt and up and down, but again, with most female figures, the hair kind of creates a traffic cone and stops you from being able to get them into some of those poses. And again, the big drawback for this particular Marvel Legend buck is the fact that she can't really stand on her own. I know that they have come up with some new figures that hopefully give them a little bit better articulation, whether it's double elbows with no pins, all of that good stuff. So hopefully we'll see some improvement from there. This particular figure is a Mattel Elite Rhea Ripley. I just added some green on to match up to Xena, Zartan's daughter from the Devil's Due Publishing. With the Mattel Elite figures, you do get the waist and hinge articulation from the diaphragm. The basic figures don't have that, but the Elites are kind of like that mid-tier. And then they also have the Ultimates Edition, which those figures do come with butterfly shoulders, double jointed elbows, better hand articulation, as well as swappable hands, swappable heads. They do have the double knees, as well as toe articulation for the Ultimates. For the Elite, they just have their standard foot articulation, and then, of course, the double knees. With the wrestling figures, these are scaled a little bit bigger than the regular Marvel Legends G.I. Joe and the Action Force, which are scaled at a 6.5. These are scaled at closer to 7. With this particular figure, though, for any wrestling fans out there, when you do figure photography or just playing around with your figures, these are really great, getting into some great action poses, holding moves, different things like that. That's one of the reasons, that plus the deco of the chains and the leather made her a perfect addition for my Dreadnoks. So take a look at her and put her back on the figure stand. And then we will look at Zorana. This particular figure, I do really like. The G.I. Joe classified figures I've been really happy with. She has great articulation. She does have the butterfly shoulder, the double jointed elbows. These are pinless as well too, you can see. So she can do some great action poses, different things like that. She does have the waist articulation just under her chest, and then also waist, the upper chest and then waist articulation, which allows for different crunches. She has great articulation in the neck, which most of the classified figures do, as the neck is dumbbell joint peg down into the chest and then also up into the head, which gives them great articulation. Another cool feature with this particular figure is the fact that you can swap out the hair. There is another hair piece that will give you a classic Zorana look that you might see on the original figure. Love the leg sculpt. Again, with most Hasbro figures, when the female characters do kick their legs up, you can see it pushes the leg out. So does force you to kind of turn the leg in. She does have, droppable drop-down hips, which can get a little bit better, but it still kind of causes you to turn those around. She does have pinless legs, and with this particular figure, if you notice, she does have the heels on the boots with the spurs, but it is a little bit easier to get Zoranas to stand up to where you don't have to worry about the figure stands, which is a nice feature for this. Overall, with the Zorana figure, I just think she's absolutely amazing. Great job by the Hasbro team. They did a great job with this particular figure. Of course, being a Dreadnoks person, this was a home run for me. I can't wait to see what they do with the rest. This is the newest addition to the Dreadnoks. This is Pandora. Really, so far impressed with the Valaverse figures as far as their abilities to fit into multiple lines. This particular figure does have some decent head articulation, side to side, tilt, up and down. This handkerchief does pop off. You do have to pop the head off to get that to go on, but it just does hinder the head and the neck a little bit. But again, it's something that you can add or take off. Pinless, double jointed elbows, so great movement for there. Again, she does have the ab crunch in the middle. She does have a vest on, which does kind of hinder it, but if you take the vest off, she can get into some decent poses with the waist side-to-side motion on it as well, too. Drop-down hips, so she can kick up, and noticing with the Valaverse, one nice thing is her leg doesn't kick out and turn as much as some of the other female figures do. Double jointed knees, so you can get into some great poses. Again, the footwear is pretty nice. If you can look at the detail that does come on there. Some nice boot cut. So this particular figure, again, just like Zorana, she does a nice job of standing on her own. Great balance to this figure. It allows it to stand. Let's get her feet set. But again, it allows her to stand without the figure stand, which you do get with the Valaverse figures, Action Force figures. The only issues I really do have with this particular figure, with the male version of the Valaverse figures, you do get butterfly articulation in the shoulders. This one, unfortunately, you don't. Again, with some of the female figures, the smaller upper bodies, it can make it difficult to get those pieces in there. But overall, you can get into some decent poses. The only other issue, which I don't even think it's... I don't know if you can see this or not. You can get it to showing. Just with the printing, one of my eyes is a little off, but you have to really look at it to see it. And I don't think that's a design flaw or anything like that. That's just QC issue from a factory. And every figure line has QC issues, whether it's Mattel, Hasbro, Jazzwares, any of them, you'll see different figures that come in just with QC issues, and that's just what it is sometimes. But overall, pretty happy with the figure. She's a bigger than what the Hasbro figures are. As far as the size of the particular female, she more fits into like the WWE style, where the figures are bigger arms, bigger chest, waist. They're a little bit thicker compared to like some of the Marvel Legends or even the G.I. Joe Hasbros. As you can see, when you're looking at the waist, they're a little bit thicker. But for this particular figure, I think it fits. Hopefully we'll see, more female figures coming out from more manufacturers. Jazzwares does a pretty great job with the AEW figures. Star Wars has some great female figures as well too. And you know, with Indiana Jones and some other lines that are up and coming, hopefully we'll continue to see more of these female figures. It's nice to see manufacturers moving away from just that single jointed elbow. Technology has come a long way to where we can now get those double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, and going pinless. For customizers, I do miss the pins. It allows you to swap out some of your figure parts. But overall, I am very happy with my new additions to the Dreadnoks, and continue to keep adding them. Again, I want to send a big shout out to everybody who's joined the island as of late, and a bigger shout out to all of my islanders who've been there since the beginning. All of you have given me such kind comments, positive feedback, positive, criticisms at times for things that you would like to see us do some more gridiron reviews, posting a little bit more often than not. So I'm going to continue to try to work for that, do some of these shorter videos under 15 minutes, just to kind of go through some of the stuff. I'm hoping to have an update on my Swamp Dio for some new things that I'm working on for that. So that should be coming out in the future. But I hope you guys are having a great night, morning, afternoon, depending on where you're at in the island. Again, thank you for stopping by, and have a good one.